Okay, so talking about boards and talking about companies, are there any mid-cap and large-cap companies that you like right now?
We can talk about a few. Things that I've already invested in are easier than things we're considering. Sure. Berkeley Energia is something we've invested in. It's a uranium, it's a uranium company, shall we say. It's developing and building a uranium mine as we speak in Salamanca, Spain. I've met management, I know them well. I've visited the site. They're not just producing at the bottom quartile of the cost curve, they're producing at the bottom decile of the cost curve. And they have a great management team, great community relations. They check all those boxes. So I have invested, so I followed my money on my own. And I really like them. I think in the long term they are going to be successful.
Any others that you particularly like right now?
I'm not sure that there's anything I'm desperately in love with right now. There's some junior miners. I've got a long list of junior miners I'm looking really hard at and waiting for the right catalysts to buy on. I think it's important to say that a good company doesn't necessarily mean you should buy it. The old adage, Warren Buffett might not like gold, but he got a few things right. And one of them is buy low, sell high. So a great company, Fresnillo, for example, is a very well-run company, but for a lot of this year, it's been very expensive. It was one of the first companies to go up when gold and silver rebounded. And while I think it's an extraordinarily well-run company that performs at a low margin, has very good quality assets, very good quality management, and it does everything right, it hasn't moved into a trading range where I would consider investing until recently. I wish I'd invested previous to its recent run-up, but it's done brilliantly. It's pulled back to where I like it right now. And at different points, I think one of the things that investors need to realize is that just because it's a good company doesn't mean it's the right time to invest in it. And you need to consider that very carefully when you're looking at a good company. A good company is a reason to invest, but it's not necessarily the time to invest.
It's the same across the board. I'm a short-term trader, and sometimes you can get the movement right, but your timing can still be out. So coming back from that then, from Fresno, and going back to the gold price, you think that gold is appropriately priced right now? You think it's well priced right now?
I think it's an excellent entry point right now, but you know, it's December 5th. Yeah. And I'm looking at deploying more capital now into the market. It's much harder when gold's on a tear and you feel like you're missing it every time and you want to get in. Sometimes you have to check yourself and say, okay, it's on a tear, but it doesn't move in a straight line. It's never moved in a straight line. And what is the chances it's going to correct? And nobody has a crystal ball. I like to say, I'm happy to miss the first 10% of a major price move. It's very hard I'm happy to lose the bottom 10%, like to move before it. I don't know that gold can't go down to 1100 again. There are some technical indicators that suggest it could go that low again. And I'm not going to necessarily catch that. I just have to do my best to try to gauge where we are in any given cycle. And that's cycles within cycles as well, and move accordingly. But there are times when things, especially stocks, are overbought. And retail investors, if they're watching, there are methods. You can get things called RSI. If you can find out if things are overbought or oversold, and those kinds of technical resistance levels and support levels, they're important when choosing entry and exit points for stocks.
This is fascinating. A fund manager sitting here before me talking about RSI and technical levels. A lot of fund managers wouldn't actually know what an RSI is, I wouldn't have thought. But
as I said, I do fundamental analysis, but you can't just do fundamental analysis. You also have to pick your entry and exit points. And technical analysis plays a role in picking those points.